Okay, just came across this beautiful walking bridge on the canal. I guess this bridge crossed over to Jersey. Maybe one time. Why would it be here? I haven't figured that out yet. But the jackasses or donkeys that used to pull the barges would have to be at least that tall. Obviously, you can. All right, there's a private property. So somebody had a bridge built so they can come from way over there, where there used to be a road at, under this canal. When they pulled the barges, the jackasses and the guys had to be this tall for that. Oh, look, there's one more down, way down there. So once upon a time, there was no bridge here, and somebody said, how do I get from over there where they're bringing the stuff going or coming from north or south from here, to how do they get a bridge here? And that's what I love about this whole thing. That was modern day technology. Well, okay, 1700s, 1800s, I'm not sure when this was built, but 1800s, and it's easy. It was built brick by brick. And that's where they started. You build the foundation, and you go all the way up. So this was the view back and forth. But even to push the mounds up, somebody had a reason to put this here. So there's a trail that goes that way, and it says private property, no trespassing. But then you have over here, there's no trespassing sign. So obviously these cement blocks were an afterthought, because they didn't build this like that back then. But there's 3 rails. Okay, either there was a train here, which I doubt, or not. So wait, this is somebody's, okay, so there's a sign, and there's a road, I guess it goes out to 332 River Road. So they must have staged stuff there, so I don't know. Who knows about that part? But this is from both sides. So somebody had to get, can I turn this around? From over there to over here for some reason. And it was so important that they had to build a bridge to get over it. And that in the 1700s is what you did to move forward and find a way. There's always a way to go around something. You can't change it. The minute you get stale and you start thinking that, well, I need to put my house from over there to over here and go out to the river, because right beyond there is a river. See the mountains in the backdrop? So between here and there's that road back over there that goes straight out to there. So it comes in there and probably goes out. No. Go ahead. Hello, how you doing? So the other houses we saw up and down the road here were part of whatever was going on back there. back there. And that's whatever, something they had to build a bridge to get to. But there's nothing more north or south from here either. There's more, this is only wetlands in between here. So somebody built stone to go out to the whatever's out there, which I can't see from here. So all I know is it goes close to the river. So, but in between bridges, we got houses here and way up there above the wetlands. Can't really build this close anymore. We've had 3 floods in 50 years. But this canal, obviously the state takes care of it. So they're up and down here all the time. I guess checking for whatever happens on Delaware State Canal. But in between that, the view, you see the bridges are few and far in between, but something going on back there we haven't figured out yet. But I'm sure it'll be out a little further because it's my first time here. But now this bridge up here looks like it's an because it's too small to get a barge back in the 1700s. Can you just imagine going from New York to here from over the water? Most of the time they probably use 2 jackasses to pull the barge. I mean, shit, if this thing ever froze over, that'd be a bad thing, but the fact that they built this in the 1700s, right? 1700s, I think? Built this canal system was the easiest from New York to Philly. Transportation route. This was the original I-95 corridor, this canal lock system. And that's what's so weird about from today they built things to how they built things back then. I mean, it all evolves. Life is about evolution. It's about becoming your better self. It's about learning from your mistakes. But it's been fun to figure this out. Along the way, I saw a path going to the canal. They put slate down back then. And I have pictures, but not videos. Gotta watch where you're going on this path sometimes because these bikers will sneak up behind you and not ring the bell. But no, but to think I'm walking through history. I mean, this was to put the canal here anyways was a feat amongst itself, and that in that time, even looking back now, it excites the crap out of me because this is not what they looked back at the 1800s, that's for sure. I've never used a camera before, so I'm not even sure how I'm doing. I hate talking. I wish my voice sounded like Mike Rose. Mike Rowe I need his voiceover. But these guys are really proud of their place. Taking pictures of the yard or somebody working back here. But this is definitely not what they looked at in the 1700s when this was all designed. No pond was there, no. Oh, it's for sale too. Uh-oh. We got a house for sale. That one way, way up there. So, yeah, I guess those who have money take up all the properties and then I mean, that's why they build these huge houses on these properties, right? So they can be looked at and photographed. That's why they're here. I mean, you could have put 15 houses on that lot right there. and everybody could enjoy the view. But I guess that's just the way society is. I mean, I guess bigger is better. That's what everybody always tells you. And how does that happen? Why does that happen? You know, why is bigger better? Why can't simple just be better? Since I started this journey, unplugging has probably been the best thing I've done so far. No Facebook, Instagram, messaging, nothing. Turns the phone off. That beautiful house up there. I mean, I guess if you're going to do it simple and have to go expensive, all the grass there is probably perfect. But it's pretty cool to see that. Oh, look, some geese up there. How you doing? How you doing? So, you know what? I just passed my opportunity to not social distance and I just blew it. That's how much social distancing is done right now. I can't even approach people like I might have felt a long time ago because everybody's wearing face masks in places. So, the social distancing thing is crazy. I understand I'm on an empty path, but for God's sakes. You're all walking 2 feet next to each other, but yet looking at me is crazy. And I like that. I like this one. This was a lock for the... Oh, wow. It's not a bridge. Got that mistaken. That was a lock. And I didn't see that because I was too busy talking the whole time. That was a lock system. This is how they raised and lowered the water from New York to here. It only allows us so much water for. That's how they fill it up so they can get the elevation between the Delaware Canal and New York is by raising and lower the original water levels. So they account for that when they first started this out because you have to figure out where you're going to put it. You know, where you're going to put the lock. And then I got some private property signs here, so I'm not going to cross over. Even though here I probably can. But seeing this, there's a switch right there. That switch right over here is how they opened up this lock up and down that holds the water pressure in there. Okay, here's something I just thought of. How did they know when to raise the water level up and down? What was the signal? What do you wait, 34 days? Until they get from the next lock or this one, or you see the guy coming from down the road? You see the guy coming and you turn the lock up? Like, who made the lock? Did the guys who were driving raise and lower them? What was the code? Were they telegraphed us earlier than that? Earlier than that. Getting the water level from one side to the other side. A lot of pressure on there. Those beams are not skinny. Those found some tall trees to do that. Obviously that chain over there is not original, but maybe the hook line was. I can't get over it. Oh, yeah, I can tell right here. No, because this wouldn't be the original top layer. There was something else up there before. There's these two little notches right here. There's a notch here. There's a notch there. So something went across here. Maybe it was part of the locking system. Between here there. This could not have been part of the original. So obviously it wouldn't have been the original because back in the 1700s there wasn't steel like this yet invented. So no, the rail system's not, but going up to it, I was going to take a picture from this side, but you have a wall that's built up over here, and that was man-made. And then on this side of it, it was not man-made. So it just kind of stopped. So you went on your way, either north or south. Wait, is it? My question is if this bridge was here. If this bridge was here when this was originally built. Can't tell, can't get down underneath it there. But I could either notch some of the stuff out, or can't tell from this far apart, and I can't tell from this side which one was which. They are steel beams, so one of those steel beams predates. So then you have the whole surrounding around it. So either somebody's job was to turn that lock right there up and down. Now what I'd like to do again on the other side is videotape that lock side of it, which I can't get to, because you have one side over there and over there where it must have let the water over like a waterfall or a fill level until it went there. And I can't see from that side of it. So let's see if I can't walk down further on there. See here, that's what I think is cool. There's a water over there, so that'll help the level go out. So this, when this was built north to south, that's facing south, and that's facing north. One of the things I can't see over there is the lock yet. So I guess that lowered it up and down. It didn't, and there must be some way that when the water goes near the side from over there. So just to see the rest of the property where it used to come down, just to go down here so you can raise and lower this. The barges will go through. But that's what I can't. This is, oh, so why is the lock here? I just figured that out going north here still. Is because over here, and I just saw that, is a, this trip is so crazy, I just can't believe I'm making this story up. So, Delaware River, right over there. Okay. Delaware River's there, which feeds the canal way ever where it starts at. So now I figured out why there's a lock here, because the water is coming down faster to let the water out so it doesn't overfill. So this is the best part. Now I'm not going to go all the way down, but that's how the water gets out to keep the level going the right way. And it goes right out and out to Delaware. So when they built that lock right there, this was the relief valve that held the water in the level. And they had to build this whole entire thing up because Delaware River's down there, and it's at its lower level. I want to get another shot of that somewhere else. Okay, I don't want to go down any further. Nobody knows I'm here, so it's just me. There's two mechanisms. One here, one there, and one there. Depending on how the water, how they need it, this is where it stops. So that if they need more water down there, they lock this up. There's a fence that comes up here, they throw it around and it stops it on both sides. It's like a key to a door, obviously, but it's a door for the water to raise up or down. Now that's out explained right now, but it's probably more on there a long time. And then having the fact that you have to crank this. Okay, but let's start in the beginning. Who decided to put this here? Well, this is all mostly man-made. See the retaining wall? This canal was man-made from this angle. So the retaining wall kept the canal up. And they have that on both sides. That's how they filled it in. So they had to start from way down at the bottom, which was all repaired. That can't be the original. That can't be the original cement. Or can it? Then to go out to there. So somebody had to get themselves in there and pour something and make this structure stand because it's all man-made from here. It's all man-made. It wasn't here when George Washington was here, that's the point. But if you look at this, these gears, that used to be a gear, there used to be a handle on this side over here to raise and lower this with the chains. Oh wait, there's 4 locks. 1, 2, I thought there were 2, 1 and 2. There's one side of it. And then here's the other side of it. So I guess this retaining wall in the middle is to help keep pressure from the locks, from the lock. Okay, the steel beams in there were way before this time. But if I can see down lower, it goes into, if I can step on this, it goes into the ground with wood, but there's an I-beam. And underneath there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a telephone pole that holds this up. So from here, this wood has got to be original. This has got beat up a little bit. Maybe not original. These chains obviously aren't original. They probably used rope back then. They didn't use that. But if you look at the 3, and then there's your lock there. They all work together to make that happen. Here's the other side of it. Now, when they're calling for a hurricane here, or high tide or whatnot, these gates go all the way open. They go all the way open. That's all the way open right now. Maybe a click or two off, but they're all the way open now. And when a flood happens, maybe I'll go around the other way for some other footage. But that's the lock system right there. A couple hundred years old. A couple hundred, maybe 200 years old. And then all these trees here added up. All this came down here. This was all flooded out. That's all cut lumber. Somebody shoved it in the canal, or it fell down from somewhere and they broke it up and ended here from a few of the floods that we've had. That's my first lock system looking at it like that. But these, this wood is definitely coming from when this whole thing flooded out, and the water level came up here in 1953, I think it was. It came up to over here. I mean, all of this was flooded all the way out to there. The water line was there. So, okay, so we're here now at the Delaware Valley Canal. Apparently it's 60 miles in length. Enjoy your visit to the historic Delaware Canal. Please respect the private property by you live. Okay, stop yelling at me. But no, first time here. So what was I talking about before? So this is northbound, so going towards New Hope. And there's some sort of working, looks like it was a gravel or trades place before. Probably began that way, but after these concrete was put down here, in this house right here, they must have been selling something, because obviously they were at one point, but how did it start? What was it before that house right there? So this house is on the canal, so they had to have been buying or selling stuff from here to they house stuff on both sides. So that was somebody's general store once upon a time, minus the shingles. And that way goes up to the, so that drive that we saw way up there, that drive we saw with that other bridge was for here. So they can buy and sell. That makes sense now. This was their store. This is what they probably had, grain here, or alcohol for back then, or wood, or coal maybe on this land. And that being the store here, those doors opened up because they saw them coming. The doors open up this way, not the other way. So yeah, they buy and sell here. That'd be the way around this other side. So there was something about being on this side because there's trees here. I'm not going to go back there, but that's it was probably a general store back then. Going from here to New Hope, where are we at? New Hope to Washington's Crossing Lock. So yeah. How you doing? Speaking of which, I'm killing time here. Al? Now I can't hear any music right now because my XM radio doesn't play on the same time I'm recording, so I don't have any head music. So I'm sitting here listening to birds chirping. So in the 1700s, when we were going to war over this land is where it was fought for and settled because of this. But as I'm walking through here, I'm saying to myself, these guys who would go with these guys that would go with these cargo, pulling the cargo up and down from New York to Philly. This is what they listened to. This is what they listened to back then. No cars, no trucks, no motorcycles, nobody walking around. That brought life to people back then. It was a life necessity for a lot of people to settle in the state capital of our country. 13 colonies back then. What the heck? All right. I came across this beauty right here. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. I don't remember ever seeing this from the road. But there was something here before. And it was something big. So there's the canal lock there. And then this. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video so I can start a new one. But this is where I am, and there's something going on there. There's brick that's up there. I'm pretty sure off the canal. That brick means something. I wonder if it was like a fort to defend here. Because why else would they make this? Why would they make this going all the way around and it goes back, cuts on the other corner over there? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe this was an afterthought for something. Maybe this is just a memorial that somebody made it look like it's old. But whether it was on purpose or not,